Hello everyone, my name is Ruth, and today I'm going to be giving a forensic speech on Montessori-style early childhood education. So I actually grew up in the Montessori program. I went to Montessori preschool and kindergarten, and I was in the Montessori program at my elementary school for first to fifth grade. So I have a bit of an inside perspective on it, and I wanted to do some more research. So, my claim is that Montessori style early childhood education creates exceptionally academic and behaviorally intelligent students as children and young adults. So, I was in the Montessori program and I feel that it has helped me become an exceptionally academic and behaviorally intelligent student because I consistently get high grades and I work I work hard to do things well for myself. And I attribute some of that to my Montessori education. But that's just my personal experience. So, some of these studies show the immediate effects of Montessori education on children, like in the actual programs, so preschoolers and kindergartners. The first study by Angeline Lillard showed that Montessori students scored higher on both academic and behavioral tests when compared to children from traditional preschool, specifically a test of executive function, which is thought to be important for success in school. The other study that shows immediate effects of Montessori education was actually an excerpt from a book by A.S. Lillard that discussed the importance of movement in regards to learning and cognition, and how the Montessori program is structured so that students learn through movement using tangible resources to guide their education and constantly being encouraged to move about the classroom. So I believe that this helped me a lot when I was in the Montessori program. I'm still a mover. I like to move around a lot, and I think that being allowed to move around the classroom and kind of choose my own adventure was really helpful in my early education. So the delayed effect of Montessori education, this study or this source, it showcases a study that looked at high school graduates' math and science scores. And the results showed that students who engaged in Montessori education had higher math and science scores as high school graduates than students who did not engage in Montessori education. And that study shows that Montessori education has long-lasting effects. I'm graduating high school this year, and I believe that Montessori has definitely helped influence the way that I think and the way that I study, and I do my academic work as well as my work outside of school. I have a job, and I feel like I'm able to apply a lot of the things that I learned while in the Montessori program to that job and just to living my life, every day. So I do believe that Montessori education has long lasting effects. So, this study compared the effects of Montessori education to other early childhood education methods other than like practical preschool, like everyday preschool. There was like other methods of private preschools. This study compared Montessori students to other type of preschool students and showed that Montessori students were still scoring highly compared to other students in their age in academics. So this shows that while other students may also be scoring highly, Montessori students still do score highly compared to students that traditionally would be scoring higher than most students. So Montessori students as a whole, they do score higher on academic tests. So some of the rebuttals that I've come across are that some of the studies around Montessori education, they don't show differences in Montessori students. They don't show that Montessori students are achieving higher. Some of them say that there's not enough randomized testing, there's not enough longitudinal testing. And I did a little bit of research on this because I was like, whoa, like why isn't there enough research? But it's mostly because there are a lot of schools who claim to follow the Montessori program that don't actually follow it fully, and in order to be studied, you do have to follow the Montessori program correctly, and so it's really hard to find enough schools to randomly test and to do longitudinal research on it because there simply hasn't been enough time and enough resources to do that. Um, So it's not possible to be completely random at this time with this type of testing, because you do have to pick and choose what schools, which preschools, which kindergartners you want to use in your study, because they need to be schools that actually follow the rhetoric and the teachings of the Montessori program. Um, and also, education style is subjective to everybody. Some people, they just don't take to Montessori as well. Some people need different styles of education in their early childhood. And so there may be some outliers. There may be some things that don't quite line up. And that could be what some people use to discredit Montessori education. But honestly, that can be used for any type of education. Everybody learns differently, and Montessori is not a one size fits all. So it works for some people, it worked for me, but it doesn't work for everybody. But in general, Montessori students do score higher on academic and social tests, and there's studies that show that they have long-lasting effects all the way through high school and even into college. So that's all I have today. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you.